Alright, we are back. Hopefully with audio. This is very annoying of OBS. Very annoying. Maybe I'll have to start opening the game first. But we'll give everyone a minute or so to come back to chat. And for sake of the YouTube replays, yes, on our last episode, Lisa said, "Oh, they're all devil worshippers," and we're just going around to see who is the devil worshippers. So hopefully you can hear this audio. Hello, Kira. Hello, Kathy. How you doing? Please tell me you can hear the game audio. I just had to kill and restart the screen. Scream, yeah. Stream. Why not? It does look a bit odd, you're right. You got your Twinkie plan out? Right, excellent. So, I was just saying, for the sake of the YouTube stream, yesterday we ended with Lisa making an accusation about them being devil worshippers. So now we're going to have to go around everyone in the village and ask them questions and see if we find the contradictory stuff. This is what James said.
Do you know anyone who is interested in or involved with devil worship?
Have you met Lisa?
Which Lisa are you talking about?
Mad Lisa, lives on her own, doesn't like mirrors.
Yeah, I've met her. You think she's mad?
You can't look at yourself in the mirror without seeing ghosts. You've got problems, don't you think?
How do you know her?
She came to the farm for some eggs a couple of times. Got talking to her once, that's all.
And what did she tell you?
Nothing much. Except she thought the devil was after her.
What did you tell her?
Told her the devil needs a good reason to be after you. But she was just like most people, really, blind to herself. Except she's more extreme. That's all madness is. Being blind to yourself.
So there we go. That's what James had to say about Lisa's accusations. So she visited the farm a few times, and he says that. So that doesn't contradict anything else, I don't think, really. There's nothing before where he said about, "Oh, I never." Sounds profound, feels like bullshit. Yeah, I think it's bullshit. I'll leave describing madness to, actual, therapists and psychologists. Literally, Jess, this is the first person we've asked about devil worship. We have asked nobody else.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
We're doing the rounds. Just walking up and down the street and going, "What do you know about devil worship?"
A few more questions, if you don't mind.
With Paul Darrow.
Do you know anything about devil worship, Paul?
I beg your pardon?
Devil worship? Satanism?
Am I missing something here?
I heard Atlas had elements of Satanism on the course.
You are misinformed. We're a training company, we're not devil worshippers. What kind of a question is that?
So you've no interest in the occult?
No, Inspector, I have no interest in the occult any more than I have interest in pole vaulting, cheese making, or snake charming. Anything else you want to know that I'm not interested in?
He is a bit of a charming snake, though, isn't he? But he got a bit het up about that. He reckons there's no truth in these accusations, no interest in the occult. No interest in the occult, eh? The thing is, we've talked about other occult things. The mask. Okay. Well, the hand symbol carving. No, that wasn't about the occult. Third Eye Flyer. No, he blames everything on his son. He's going to be in trouble when we find the cheesecloth in his kitchen. That was the cleaner's duty. Right. I've got some strawberry milk today. Because I am 43 years old. Okay, I don't think we've got anything else contradictory from him, have we? You know, Lisa's accusation, no interest in the cult. I don't think we found anything there. He's always quite within the topic. There's never any sort of... Basically, what up and go is you have that in your fridge. What, strawberry milk? I don't think we got anything else contradictory at the moment.
Thank you.
Semi-malted milkshake. Let's go to the pub. Are you ready? Ding! Where are my glasses? Ding!
Couple more questions, if that's okay.
We haven't asked you about Lisa's accusation.
Have you ever come across anyone interested in or involved with the occult?
As in black magic? No, why?
Atlas don't use occult techniques or anything like that?
Atlas? Not unless Ryan's got a secret he's not telling me about. Why, who's been talking?
Just a line of inquiry. Okay, thanks.
Oh, she's starting to get suspicious now. Who's been talking? Wait till you find out about the affair. Any reason to go in the restaurant yet? Nope. Yeah, he tells her about all his secrets, right? Like the affair. Nothing happening at the hall. There's never anything happening at the village hall. That was meant to be his head. Just pretend I'm being 90s. Alright, let's knock the window.
A few more questions, please. Thank you.
Because I think we did the rounds with the car photos, yeah.
Have you ever heard about there being devil worship at Atlas?
Devil worship? No. Definitely not. Who said that?
It's just something I heard. Okay, thanks.
Nope. Let's try Simon.
Okay, that's it for now. Thank you.
What do you know about devil worship?
Devil worship? Where?
At Atlas.
Devil worship at Atlas? No, there's none of that.
None of that, mate. None of that, mate. Nah, none of that.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
What snitch told you that? At some point, it's going to be a mob with torches and pitchforks, maybe. Yeah, booming business for B&Q, that. 7 O's, you never know when someone might be in the... down a jetty. Nope. In the dogging spot. This is the dogging spot, isn't it? Nope, nobody's dogging. Anyone new in the kitchen? Gotta check, you never know. Might find new stuff. Nothing new. Let's go and find the man who's permanently drunk. accuse him of being a Satanist.
Ask you a couple more things, please. Has devil worship ever been part of the course, Ryan?
Am I correct in assuming that you have spoken to Lisa Blind?
You would be. She's been telling me all about the Atlas obsession with Satanism, Ryan.
Then if you've met Lisa Blind, then you will have worked out for yourself that she has a very vivid imagination. She also has psychological problems, diagnosed psychological problems, as a matter of fact.
So where did she get the idea that you lot were, devil worshippers?
I really have no idea. The girl is insane. She's frightened of her own shadow, bless her. She actually thinks that demons are possessing her even now. You really can't trust a word she says.
So you are saying there has never been any devil worship at Atlas?
I
That
don't
sounds
even know
like
what
something.
devil worship is, Inspector. It's not something I particularly know anything about. I certainly don't recall anyone ever having worshipped the devil at Atlas. We even tried to help the poor girl by paying for some treatment, but she didn't want it.
Really?
It's not easy to offer someone help when they think that you're the problem.
So, Lisa was a fancist with psychological problems. Still believes demons are possessing her. Doesn't know anything about devil worship. There must be something here, right? Think about the mask. The triple goddess. She's into like paganism and shit, right? The Scrying Mirror? Where's the Scrying Mirror? Used to read about black magic and satanic rituals. Doesn't know anything about devil worship. He's so keen to stress crazy.
So you used to read a lot about voodoo and satanic rituals, but you don't know anything about devil worship?
Well, obviously, I just meant we don't worship the devil. We're not devil worshippers here at Atlas, Inspector. Ridiculous.
But the point is, Ryan, that you claim not to know anything about it, but admitted you were obsessed with it when you were younger. Are you sure none of that made its way onto the Atlas course? And that Lisa isn't basing her beliefs on anything within that course?
Lisa isn't basing her beliefs on anything other than her own imagination, Inspector. Look, we do use some techniques that some students find difficult, disturbing. We encourage them to see things differently, that's all. And some people simply aren't up to that. Some people, like Lisa, that's why we introduced the aptitude test.
What's the aptitude test?
This. We ask students to fill in an aptitude test, medical history, psychological issues, that kind of thing, any medication that they have used in the past, any medication that they currently are using. Here, take a look. Basically, it's just to try and make sure that we don't get another Lisa.
Has it worked?
Oh, touch wood, so far, yes.
Can I keep a copy of this? I wonder how much importance they actually give to this test. And what are they doing that's so disturbing anyway?
You're right, Kira. We should ask, what do you know about voodoo? I'm going to have to get that as a sound file, aren't I? Lizard person, devil worshipping sex cult. Yeah, not far off. I'm not fond of the lizard people thing anymore, to be fair. Not that I'm shouting, calling you out about it, just say I'm not fond of it. If ever eventually, it would be 100% references. And every character would be horrible. Right, now we got something else to talk to everybody about.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
No. Nobody to talk to there. No cleaner to accuse of mugging us. Alright, let's use the map to get around quicker. Simon and Emma! What do you know about the aptitude test?
Just a few more questions, if you don't mind.
Hello, me again.
Have you seen one of these before?
No, not this one exactly, but we had to fill something similar in on the first night at Atlas. One of those aptitude tests? No, fitness and stuff like that.
That's all for the moment, thank you. Did you do a test before you started at Atlas?
Oh yeah. It was all just questions about if I had any illnesses or mental health problems or stuff like that, you know. But they didn't actually ask for any proof, so I could have lied through your teeth on that one. Don't think they actually checked.
Interesting.
It would be easy to lie on the form. Okay, nothing seems contradictory. Alright, no one thinks it's weird. He stops by, asks some question and leaves. Yeah, exactly. Or rather they do, that's why they're saying...
Back later on, if that's okay.
Right, where's next? Pub next, right? Ding! Ding!
Ask about a few more things, please. Do you know anything about this?
It's the aptitude test, isn't it, for Atlas? What do you want to know?
Do you know why it was introduced?
I think they had some trouble with some unsuitable students. I suppose you have to be careful who you work with.
Okay, nothing particularly contradictory there.
Be back later.
I mean, yeah, you're right, she's sus. There's something a bit calculating about her, isn't there? Me again,
More questions, if that's
calling
okay.
for Avon.
Can you tell me a bit about this, please? It's the Atlas Aptitude Test.
What do you want to know?
What does it test, exactly?
It's a test we introduced to make sure that any students didn't have any major personality problems, skeletons in the cupboard, so to speak. We introduced it because we had a little bit of a problem with one of the students.
Lisa.
You are well informed.
And what do you think it was that disturbed her?
I believe that the course proved to be too demanding for her. We discovered that she had one or two psychological problems and she couldn't handle it.
And did you change anything else on the course apart from introducing the test?
We increased the entrance age to 21. Wasn't much, but it's about the only thing we could do. We didn't want another Lisa. We didn't want students turning around and suing us, did we?
Raise the course entrance age to 21. Does that contradict anything? I mean, calling most of these people students college, I mean, assuming that it's, what's the word I'm after? University, so that'll be 18 to 21. Wondering about if it... No, I don't think he's mentioned anything else about minimum ages before. No. The grieving widow from the Scottish Widows. Scottish Widows is a life insurance company. Traditionally, I've used adverts of a sort of like quite beautiful dark-haired woman, like wearing like a dark hood thing. That's it. Pensions on life insurance, I think. But yeah, how much involvement she has? Is she a recruiter? Maybe.
That's it for the time being, thank you.
Be really funny if she actually was one of the actors who did Scottish Widows. roaming across a stormy cliff that she totally has just pushed her loaded husband off.
A few more questions, please.
What do you know about the aptitude test? No, no questions for you then. Alright. I don't think we've got any more contradictions that I can think of. Let's have some tips. Give the chief an update. We haven't asked Simon about Paul's theft stunt. Did we not? I thought we did.
I'll ask you a couple more things, please.
How we missed this?
What do you know about Paul stealing money from students? Part of a stunt or something?
What, did he do that? I've never heard about anything like that. No, it might be part of the risk-taking thing, though.
Explain that.
Well, it's part of the course. You have to do something dangerous or risky, something you wouldn't normally do.
Something dangerous?
Well, not dangerous, just risky. Like saying something you wouldn't normally say to someone, or doing something unusual.
Like stealing from other students?
Well, we didn't do anything like that, but you have to tell everyone at the end of the course anyway. And you're not allowed to do anything that would hurt or offend anyone, or you're not allowed to do anything really bad. It's all pretend, really.
It seems a bit odd for a business course.
It works, though.
Does it? Does it work? Not allowed to hurt or offend others yet. Guilt doesn't serve any useful purpose, but you're not allowed to hurt people's feelings. That is not contradictory, apparently. See, that stands out as something that surely... landmark for a MLM type thing. Could be. Is Scotch Ad Widow really her name? Or do they just call her Reaper? I mean, the Widow sounds dramatic. But maybe it's Reaper. Maybe he's not said anything
That's all for the moment. Thank
contradictory. Let's see if we get a tip that might help us. Probably just, yeah, call the chief. Let's call the chief.
Chief, I finally saw a bit of what goes on at Atlas. I walked in on a meeting. Very strange. There were several students sitting around a fire, taking it in turns to burn handmade woolen dolls.
You're hoping I'm going to say, tell me more, aren't you? I'm changing my mind.
Ryan had an explanation for it, as did Simon. He claimed it was all about burning your past or something. Actually, Simon told me something interesting. He said they also use auto-hypnosis on the course.
Oh, what's that?
Self-hypnosis. Hypnotizing yourself. Apparently, that may have been what disturbed Lisa so much.
Is it dangerous?
Well, not in theory. Nobody I've spoken to seems to think so.
Well, if it disturbs Lisa so much, then it can't be all that safe, can it?
I suppose it depends on your psychological state to begin with, but I'll look into it.
Okay, keep it up, Jax.
Always do, Chief. Always do.
Oh, very funny, very funny. Bye-bye.
Well, there we go. There must be a contradiction somewhere. Alright, let's think about this. Be easy to lie on the form, yeah. Asked about general fitness when Emma joined. Unsuitable students. Okay. So Paul's replies here. Point to a Paul contradiction, or maybe Ryan. Paul here says Lisa couldn't handle the course techniques. There's no truth in Lisa's accusations. So what could it be? Do we think it's something in this new stuff we found about their disturbing techniques and Lisa's and the whole need for the aptitude test? Thank you, former astronomer. You're right. Okay. Auto-hypnosis. Not a major part of the course. Students aren't course bribed anyway, are being phased out. Believes it doesn't really work. Not using the course anymore. Impossible to be hurt or damaged by hypnosis. Yet. No truth in Lisa's accusations. Ryan's replies to this. Atlas do use some disturbing techniques. Right, so that and the auto-hypnosis being safe? What is Ryan's reply to auto-hypnosis? Doesn't really work. Okay. Let's go and see if we can find something in Paul's statements.
A few more questions, if you don't mind.
It's impossible to be hurt or damaged by hypnosis. Should we go with the psychological issues? Let's see. Nope. Lisa can handle the course techniques.
Aha. So nobody has ever been affected by auto-hypnosis, except Lisa.
Hypnosis wasn't the problem, Inspector. Lisa was the problem with Lisa. That's why we introduced the test.
But the hypnosis was the trigger, wasn't it?
Lisa arrived on the course believing we were all devil worshippers. She was nuts to start with. We didn't make her like that.
Well, as far as I can tell, Paul, you've had one student accuse you of devil worship and 2 others commit suicide. Some of your students aren't having a very good time on this course, are they?
Nonsense. Kate was enjoying every minute of it. She couldn't get enough of it.
Really?
She was full of the joys of life. Bubbly, confident, flirty.
With who?
You mean with whom?
With whom?
Pretty much everybody. Including me, as I remember.
Really? And, did you respond?
I don't get into relationships with students, Inspector. Company policy. It's not professional.
I'm pretty certain that's contradictory.
Just an admission that Kate flirted with him. There's no way Paul would have turned down an opportunity like that.
So... because I'm pretty certain... Well, here we go. Only met Kate a few times. Possibly spoke to her. Right, where's it? It must be under the auto-hypnosis. No. Okay. Or avoids relationship with students. Didn't he Maybe not. It wasn't Kate then. Was it? Was it Emma? Didn't he say something about Emma? Yeah. Where are we going to find that? Emma's guilt. Once tried to date Emma.
Aha. So you avoid relationships with students, except for Emma, who you tried to date.
Oh, come on, Inspector. That was a long time ago.
And what about Kate Vine? Did you try to date her or not?
Oh, don't be so ridiculous, Inspector. Kate was an exceptionally clever girl. She knew exactly what she wanted, and she knew how to get it.
You mean that Kate approached you?
It wouldn't surprise me if she was playing everyone in the group. Kate had more enemies than you'd think. She was a very, very manipulative young woman.
Oh, we got 10 p.m. Still no cheats.
10 o'clock, it's getting late. I'm going to have to pick up the pace if I'm going to solve this by midnight.
Angry old man alert. We've got 2 hours. Okay. It's not showing us the contradictions, but I'm sure there was some there's some new stuff in there that was a bit contradictory. Wonder who's in the pub? Is the last bus at midnight? It could well be.
It's my place, darling.
It is your place here.
I just don't want to tell tales.
Tell him about Simon. You know what happens when you don't do as I say.
Ooh. Ooh.
So it's going to be that kind of evening, is it?
If you play your cards right.
Well.
New deal. Problems? Hello, Inspector.
Sex cult. Sex cult.
See you later.
Ding ding.
A few more questions, if you don't mind.
There's going to be nothing
later
particular.
on, if that's okay.
So now there's something to search in the restaurant.
Well, isn't that interesting?
Drugs. Now we got something new to talk about. So much chemistry between these actors, isn't it? Ding!
A couple more questions, if that's okay.
Just tell me about the drugs that you're prescribed.
The cupboard downstairs, there's a lot of unopened stuff in it.
Is there?
Prescriptions. Made out to you.
Oh, they're just spare painkillers. The chemist always gives us too many. He's a friend of the family.
Wasn't there something about her preferring everything au naturel?
Aha. So, you don't take any medicines except for prescription painkillers.
Well, they're not actually for me. They're Ryan's. For some reason, the chemist always makes them out to my name. He's an old gentleman.
Does Ryan need prescription painkillers?
Yes, he's got arthritis.
Really? He's young to suffer from that, isn't he?
He doesn't have it badly, but he does need medication from time to time.
What medicine is it?
I couldn't tell you, to be honest. Ryan will know.
So Ryan's the one using the prescriptions. I think I might have a word with him, work out exactly what this medicine is.
Calling bullshit on the story.
Okay, that's it for now. Thank you.
Let's go see Ryan and go, you're popping pain pills. Yeah, pronouns. Get your pronouns at alejo.io. It's great. No one in the kitchen still. Some telly still left on. That cleaner's rubbish.
A few more questions, please. Thank you. Do you know what the medicine in the cupboard at the pub is for?
You'd better ask Rebecca about that. I'm not exactly sure what's in there. She tends to keep her wares under lock and key. But you know, our wedding night was quite a surprise.
Ew. Ew. He should drink more. He's getting looser. Right, we're going to have some contradictions here, aren't we?
Tell me about your arthritis.
Oh, you found out about that. Well, yes, I'm old before my time.
It's very unlucky to have it so young.
Well, I take a lot from life, Inspector, and sometimes life likes to give you a little bit back. I mean, it's not too bad, it's not too debilitating. It's mainly some in my right hand, some in my left hand. It's not particularly a problem. Makes it difficult to hold small things there.
What do you take for it?
I get a prescription painkiller.
How often do you need that?
Not often, as and when. I keep some here, I keep some at home. It's not a problem.
Finds it hard to hold small things. The jokes write themselves. Right, has arthritis in his hands. Takes prescription painkillers. Keeps them at work and home. It's not a problem. I don't think these are going to come out as contradictory. No. Okay.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
Didn't seem to be anything particularly contradictory there. Let's go round the houses. Oh, hello, something new. Small things like car keys.
Careless, Simon. Probably nothing important, but at this stage, I need all the clues I can get.
Cat rate James Van Der Beek has been out and about. Cat rate. We got more stuff to talk to people about. Dropped key ring. Dropped business card. Who's Dean?
Ask you a couple
Sarah
more things,
Dawson.
please. Did you know about Ryan Round's arthritis?
Arthritis? I didn't think Ryan had arthritis.
Have you seen this before?
Nope. Sorry, never heard of him.
What do you know about this?
This is Simon's. I bought this from when we were on holiday. Has he lost it?
He dropped it.
He can't keep anything.
Okay. Nothing controversial there. Let's go see Bizarro Dawson. Or as I like to call him, the wrong Matt Smith.
Thank you. Probably be back later. Did Did you know about Ryan's arthritis?
Ryan? He's got arthritis?
Apparently.
Oh, I didn't know. I hadn't noticed he had any problems.
Is this yours?
Yeah. That's from my keys. Where did you find that?
Just outside.
Right. Oh, it must have come off when Nathan dropped my keys off. He was borrowing my car.
That's very trusting.
Yeah, I suppose it is. I am a bit too trusting, really. It's a new car as well.
Owns a new car, often lends the car to friends. Hey, remember his bike? Bike's the only way you can get to work. But owns a new car.
Aha. So the bike's the only way you can get to work, yes?
Yeah.
What's wrong with the car?
No, I can't drive the car yet, can I? I don't have my license.
Right.
I got a windfall from an insurance payout. Just figured I'd buy something sensible with it straight away instead of wasting the money.
What was the insurance payout?
It was for a laptop that got stolen down at Atlas.
At Atlas?
Well, they didn't break in. I think they just walked in and took it. The laptop was in a storeroom, but I think the lock was broken, to be honest.
Doesn't sound like they're taking their security very seriously.
Actually, it got a lot better after that.
Think I'll check it anyway. Must have been a very nice laptop to be able to buy a car with the insurance. Or a very cheap car. Might have to have a talk with Ryan about his security measures.
A very cheap new car. He's bought a Dacia, whatever it is. He bought a Yugo. According to IMDb, the actor playing Simon is non-binary. Well, then they look like a cut price Matt Smith. I'm sorry, sorry, my. Is he falling back on my binaries? I'm sorry, non-binary person. But you look like Matt Smith, having gone through the washer. Tilda Swinton in a wig. Yeah, bought a car you can't drive. How do you know how it handles? Exactly. And how expensive was the laptop? Anyway, we haven't talked about the dropped business card.
I think you dropped this outside. Someone you know.
Oh, this is just from some IT guy I met. I don't need it.
Fair enough. I noticed some numbers on the back. Do you need these?
I don't know. What is it?
1905?
Oh, yeah, that's just a pin for something. It's okay, I can remember it.
So not an offshore savings account or anything?
No, it's not important.
That's a shit account number. It's gonna be said. An IT. Oh wait, that's Aztec. It's totally important. Right, pin on the back of the card. 905 feature reference. Thank you, Jess. How's laptop stolen? Stolen from a storeroom. Go back to
That's
Emma.
all for the moment, thank you.
She'll probably just confirm stuff. I think we covered all her shiftiness.
Did you know about Simon's laptop being stolen?
Yeah, because it had all my college work on it, which I hadn't backed up or saved. Not that it mattered much, but I did buy a new one. And Simon uses it now, when I let him.
Bought a new laptop and a new car. It's a hell of insurance payout. That's a dodgy insurance payout, surely.
Be back later on, if that's okay.
So there's stuff we could go back and ask Ryan? Or should we just continue looping down and then we'll go back up to Ryan? We'll do a full walk and do all the nooks and crannies. Ding!
Just a few more questions, if you don't mind. Have you seen this before?
No.
Get more steps in for the Fitbit. Love it.
Do you know anything about this?
No, sorry.
All right, bye.
Probably be back later.
Ask about a few more things, please.
When did Ryan begin to suffer from arthritis?
Ryan doesn't suffer from arthritis.
Really?
The only thing that Ryan suffers from is a pathetic inability to deal with any kind of discomfort. He pulled his back sometime last year. Since then, he's going around telling everybody he suffers from arthritis.
I thought he had medication for it.
Oh, he only has medication because his GP, who is almost as dysfunctional as he is, keeps prescribing it for him.
So you don't believe he really has arthritis?
Not at all.
Well, thank you, Doctor. Dr. Sir.
Do you know who this is? Dean Hayfield, Aztec.
Sorry, never heard of him. We have some prisoner sort who does our IT. Large guy. No manners.
I'm confusing games because I'm like, can we sneak Jeans in here and fit him up? But that was the game we played at lunchtime. Aztec. I'll have you know that the business park I work on is called Aztec. Because it's the A to Z of tech. Allegedly. But that was hella dark.
Seen this before anywhere?
No.
And Amazon was taken.
And what do you know about Simon's laptop being stolen from Atlas?
No, I wasn't happy about it.
What did you do about it?
Ryan paid a con man to install a complicated CCTV system at twice the price that it would probably have cost. Seemed to do the trick, though. We haven't had a theft since.
Not happy about the theft. Yet willing to steal from other. Yeah, it's a fake theft. I didn't think too much of it.
That's it for the time being, thank you.
Go down to the farm. Let's see our favourite person.
Couple more questions, if that's okay?
Right.
Recognise this at all?
Yeah, he fixed my laptop.
Does he live locally?
I think so.
Seen this before?
Don't think so.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
Okay. Not a lot new so far. Just do some poking around. Just in case. We have a random encounter. Oh boy, these co-fresh snacks are spicy. Nothing new here, huh? Get your paints prepped for either tomorrow or Monday, whichever looks worse for going out. Or you can do a bit more arting, or painting the house. Arting. Posh. Anyone? No. Nothing going on here. Kathy Art Stream? Kathy Art Stream? Ah, we've already done that. Fine, fine. Anyone behind the pub? No. Anyone using Village Hall tonight? Right, is there stuff I need to ask these lot about? No. Just gonna check all the little spots. Because you never know who might mug you at the dogging spot. Anyone in the kitchen? The mugging was the most exciting part. They put a bag over our head and everything. And the ritual was kind of fun, though.
Few more
Let's
questions,
talk
please.
to the sleazy man.
Know anything about this?
No, I don't. I'm sorry. We have our own IT chap. Lovely chap, in fact. Fat and sweaty, though. It's like a double act, doesn't it?
God, I want to punch him.
Have you seen this before?
No, sorry.
Were you at Atlas when Simon's laptop was stolen?
Oh, I believe I was, yes. It was taken from the storeroom in the hallway.
Was it ever recovered?
No, we didn't catch anyone. We're quite exposed out here. Somebody could just have wandered along the lane, seen into the storeroom. It's not particularly secure. They could have been in and out within minutes. That's why we advise people to keep their valuables with them. You can't be too careful these days, Inspector.
Alright, there we go. A lot of exposition. Okay. There must be a contradiction somewhere. We've gone through all the new stuff with everybody. Think about it. What's he said about Atlas before? No, doesn't seem anything. Scrying Mirrors, everything's got anything to do with it. No, third eye, anything here? Never used ECT machines, no. Destroying one's past. Hammerstone. Does know about devil worship. There's arthritis. So I don't think there's anything particularly contradictory here about keeping their valuables with them. She's never seen a keyring. Never heard of the IT consultant. Atlas have their own.
That's all for the moment. Thank you.
Was that a PIN number on that business card? You should call the chief for an update. Okay. I mean, it was a PIN number, right? But to what? There is a lot of information to keep track of, yes. Thankfully, the tip and the chief help. I think we call the chief like once an hour. Could be a combo lock for a bike, which had a combo lock. No, not here. Pin to unlock stolen laptop, yeah. I'm trying to think where we've been that's had combo locks. I think the only one was it that one? Nothing pinny there. What's the in-game reason of solving it by the midnight? I can't remember. A phone extension number. Worth a try. Not here though, where there's a phone, and probably a IP exchange. Nothing in the woods, is there? Village hall. No, not there. Some kind of locked item in the pub. There, at the back of the pub, we had the key for that. Let's have a nose. Where all the prescriptions were kept. Ah, right. Okay, I'm with you. I'm with you. Nope, no use for it here, apparently. There's no search anymore. The pub of noises, but no people. Was there something? Because he used to live. Simon used to live on the farm. Were there any locks around here? No use for it here. Don't think there's going to be use for it here. Nope. Top greenhouse. Don't think there's anything here. Nope. No skeletons and murdered wives in the flower pots here. Nope. Right. The post office is marked. I don't know why the post office is marked. Where else might you use a pin? For unlocking a phone? For your credit card? For your voicemail service? For a computer? For the bank? For a phone box? No, that's literally just call the chief. Well, hang on. What happens if I... No, so I can't call the number and then press the pin on the back. There's a lock on the Atlas gate, but that's not locked yet. There's nothing in the wood that needed a pin or a combo. Wrote his pin on the back of the card. Okay, so we've got his pin, Simon's pin. Bet it is Atlas, and the card was a tip for the thief, maybe. So something to do with Simon. Like, there's Simon's bike, which has a combo lock on it. That's the only thing I think it was combo lock. We can't use that here. Hello, Simon.
Ask you a couple more things, please.
Like, what else is there that we've talked to him about where we can contradict the pin?
Be back later on, if that's okay. Okay, that's it for now. Thank you.
Bet is that con man burglar alarm. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I see what you're saying. I think we can use it here, but maybe we can use it somewhere in here. We couldn't use it in this room where we saw the phones. Let's try the reading room. Because, like, if you were going to break in, you would maybe break in through one of these rooms, huh? Not here, though. Not here. A pin for what? Like, I like the idea of the burglar alarm, but where is the burglar alarm? use for it out here. Where else can you use a pin? Locks and nowhere in the Atlas place. There's not anywhere in the woods. Is there? Nah. Not the village hall. There was. Did we try the village hall? I thought I tried this. Yes, of course. Nothing at the pub. Hang on. Back of the house. Gates. Nope. Maybe it's a red herring. Maybe it is. But why did they put it up on the tips thing? They've been very good with the tips on this game to date. But there's also, why mention the post office and then I can't go to the post office? Oh. Pin for what? Let us call the chief for an update. Did you call Rebecca on the back meds? We'll double check this.
A few more questions, if you don't mind.
Right. Descriptions, arthritis, chemical insurance, cancer, friend of the family. Or the double purchase and the insurance payout, laptop, car. The thing is that Emma said the laptop was the buyout and Simon said the car was the buyout, and I can't tie those two statements together to be contradictory because they're from separate people. Likewise, I think Paul saying that Ryan put his back out and now he's got arthritis, and Ryan saying that I've got arthritis in this wrist and this wrist. Ooh, jazz hands. They've come from two different people, so it's the pin.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
Telling me to use a pin. I haven't got a card to use the pin with. Can't use the pin on the coffee machine. Where are all these people? Is it the pin specifically, or is there something relevant at the front of the card? The front of the card is IT consultant bod, but the back of the card had a pin on. That's what Tip is saying to me. It's like, ooh, pin. A pin number. Is it a pin number? Or is it another 4-digit combo? Now, we had a key for this, but was there anything in here that was locked? Big leaks. Look at them big leaks. Whoa, look at those big leaks. Look at those massive leaks. But there's nowhere with any other sort of combo thing. Calling the chief is the thing to do. Probably is. Oh, hey, by the way. Look at him. Look at him. No, medium yawn there. How you doing, Orky? How you doing, baby? Look at him. Hi. Oh, we got you in frame. Oh. Right, tickle belly. Tickle belly. Oh. It's a big baby. He's a little baby. Snarf's a big baby. But he's also a big baby. Oh, yes, you. He's honestly fine with Belly. Snarf doesn't often like Belly. But Orca loves Belly. Orca's fine with Belly. You can do almost anything to him except for pick him up and cuddle him. Right, pin. Oh, call the chief. It's Jenks again. That wasn't a full number.
Still calling, Jenks?
Yes, Chief, afraid so. Got a bit more news. Apparently the prescription I found does belong to Ryan. It's for his arthritis.
Arthritis? Ryan? Has he told you this, or...?
He explained it, yeah. It seemed genuine enough. Although it's impossible to tell with Ryan.
Well, keep at him. You need to find out who's taking it, when they're taking it, and where they're taking it. You're getting closer, though, Jenks. Keep it up.
Thanks, Chief.
Bye-bye.
Well, do you know the actual answers, Chief? Why aren't you prosecuting him then? Alright. So we need to pressure about the drugs. Maybe we'll get to the pin number. Second time that ginger cat has snubbed you. Oh, the not my cat that you've got. Millie most like Belly, but sometimes goes all pointy ends. All right, ginger cat, you saw on your walk. Get you.
A few more questions, if you don't mind.
All right, arthritis and prescriptions. Becker explained that Ryan suffers from arthritis. The cupboard contains his prescriptions. Those are notable. What else had she said about Ryan? From the top. Let's see. There's nothing about Ryan there. Nothing about Ryan there. Nope. Students, no. Nothing about Ryan there. Ask Ryan about the mask. Yes, thinks the mask is Ryan's. Nothing contradictory there. Boot. No, that's fine. Didn't know Liam very well. Don't recognize the symbol. Hung up on guilt, whatever. Auto hypnosis at auto hypnosis as Atlas. Auto hypnosis at Atlas. Auto hypnosis at Atlas. Gaffy's got the brain worms. Ryan is practically dyspraxic. Got nothing to do with arthritis. Ryan's guitars. Guilt, red torch, and hey, where's your mom? Ryan has arthritis but plays guitar. Not particularly contradictory, but maybe Ryan. We go and see Ryan, and we accuse him, because Ryan said it's in the wrists, and we'd be like, but you play guitar. Me again.
Couple more questions, if that's okay.
Right. Has arthritis in his hands. Has arthritis in both hands. Has arthritis in both... Dabbles in playing the guitar. Can you compare statements from the inventory doodah? You can't. You've got to actually talk to them to compare them, because then you go, aha, ba 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 ba, and they go, oh, well, actually, you know. Dabbled in playing the guitar, interested in collecting guitars. See, you can have arthritis and dabble in playing guitars. It's not a problem. See, it's not a problem. But maybe it's more about the prescription. Takes prescription painkillers for his arthritis. Oh, hang on. Keeps painkillers at work and home. But he previously said that they can't have medicines on site. Insurance and all. Just gotta find where he said that.
So, you don't keep any medicines on site at Atlas?
No.
Except your prescription painkillers?
Well, these are not available to the students.
But they are kept on site?
Yes, but they're locked away. They're kept in the storeroom. Nobody would have access to them.
You're sure about that?
Absolutely sure.
And what are the painkillers, Ryan?
Painkillers. Just painkillers. Normal painkillers.
Paracetamol, codeine, morphine.
Well, all right, they're morphine tablets, yes.
Oh, really?
Oh, come on, Inspector. I know what you're thinking, but there's no way Kate could have had access to them.
Because they're in the storeroom?
Well, not just that. She wouldn't have even known about them, or where they were.
Sure about that?
Yes.
So it is morphine Ryan's taking. The pieces are starting to come together. Now I just have to work out how Kate got hold of it. If it was Ryan's morphine she got hold of course.
Oh yeah, there were traces of morphine in the system. Remember? Way back when. Pin, presumably. Hang on, what? A search function would be handy, yeah. But yeah, maybe the pin's the combo lock for the storeroom. The storeroom isn't particularly secure, so he keeps the morphine in there.
Aha. So the storeroom isn't particularly secure, yet you keep your morphine tablets in there. I thought you said no one could get access to the morphine, but they could quite easily, couldn't they, Ryan?
I didn't mean that storeroom. I meant a different storeroom. I keep them in there.
Okay. So where was it locked up?
It's upstairs. It's got a combination lock on it. Nobody could have access to it except me and Dad. Nobody.
I might have a look at that if you don't mind.
Don't mind at all.
A combination locked room, I see. Well, I might have a look around for that. See how secure and combination locked it really is.
Ding, ding, ding. In it.
That's all for the moment, thank you.
Upstairs! Yeah. Got a whole new environment. That's a fancy combo lock for the door, huh? It's not 0167 then.
Welcome to the Mirror Room. This exercise is all about identifying the difference between the image one presents to the world and one's real self, which lies deep in our unconscious. As you move through the network of mirrors, practice seeing yourself as a stranger. The more you separate from your persona, the more aware you will become of your true desires and ambitions. Chant with us. I am free from my image. I am free from my past. I am free from myself. I am free from my image. I am free from my past. I am free from myself. I am free from my image. I am free from my past. I am free from myself. This exercise involves the use of liberation masks. You have now completed Module 1. Module 2 covers boundary testing, threshold testing, and extreme testing. Please read the notes carefully before attempting the module.
Amazing. Oh, extreme testing indeed. And yeah, Pain and Peel had the film gear. That, yeah. Some very, very carefully planned shots there. Oh, some 90s shit. Oh, this is brilliant. Well, that's the mirror room. Suppose we better go talk to everyone about the mirror room now. Oh, cool. We can go back at any time. Oh, well, good thing we're at the top of the map.
A few more questions, please. Thank you.
Where were the morphine? I wish I had some morphine before going in there.
Can you tell me what you know about the mirror room upstairs?
Oh, you found that then. Well, it's very similar to the costumes, Inspector. It's designed to help the students look at themselves differently.
And what do you do with the mirrors?
You look at yourself, Inspector. You look at yourself until you start seeing yourself as others do. And you don't see yourself as you do anymore. It really, the idea is that you can see yourself eventually any way you wish.
So why in a locked room?
To make sure you're not distracted, that's all.
How often is it used?
Not often, a few times a month. Some students find it useful, some don't.
And why is your morphine in there? And yeah, you found that then, not how did you get into that locked room? Wow. Alrighty folks, so mirror room used by students. The room's locked so students aren't distracted. It's used a few times a month. That's not particularly contradictory. Oh, he's on more than his 21st whiskey. Surely.
Be back later on if that's okay.
Or like in Back to the Future 3, he's on his first one and he's barely touched it. Alright, let's do the loop. How does morphine alcohol interact? Oof, wow.
Ask you a couple more things, please.
Do you know about the mirror room at Atlas?
The mirror room. No, I heard about it, but I think it was only for the students later on in the course. Something like that.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
Maybe Simon can tell us more.
Do you know about the mirror room at Atlas?
Yeah.
What's it used for?
But it's mainly for the auto-hypnosis module. You go in and you stare into the mirror and you go into a trance. Then when you're ready, you come back out.
So you just go in whenever you want to?
Oh, no. There's certain times when you're allowed in, and only they know the combinations anyway, so you can't really get in.
But you don't know the combination?
No.
Use once, twice a month. Don't know the combination to get to the mirror room. Right. Well.
Aha.
So you didn't know the combination to the locked mirror room?
Nope.
Except You'd written it down, hadn't you? This is the confirmation to the mirror room, Simon, that you wrote. It isn't a pin, it's a combination.
Yeah.
You see, this sort of thing makes me suspicious, Simon. What were you doing in there that you didn't want anyone, including me, to find out?
It's just part of the course, isn't it? I just wanted to go in there when I was ready.
On your own? You didn't give the number to anyone else?
No.
Simon, there was morphine kept in that room that might have played a part in Kate Vine's death. Did Kate have the number?
Yes, okay. We both went in.
Together?
We were trying to outdo each other. We both tried some morphine.
What do you mean trying to outdo each other?
It's part of the course. To see how far you can push yourself. To see if you could do something you wouldn't normally do.
When was this?
A few months ago.
How often did you try it?
Only that once. I'd never do it again.
How about Kate?
I don't know. Sorry.
Oh, he pushed on to 11 o'clock.
So that's how Kate got the morphine. But what exactly does this testing involve? Could this have been what killed Kate? 11 o'clock. Just an hour left to solve this thing.
Alright, so we're in the last hour. Maybe we could crack this tonight. Jess fell down a rabbit hole and found who on Twitter? And it turns out you have a whole bunch of friends in common. It's very light for 11 PM. I'm assuming it's summer. Oh, the actor who plays Simon. Oh, right. Cool. You know them. Wow. Oh, you know someone famous. Oh, as well, heard Martha, who played Simon. Can't find them. If he lives in Edinburgh, I don't think we've ever met. Oh, wow. Alrighty. So the Atlas Mirror Room. The only new thing we got to talk about, right? Haven't searched the woods for a while, and we haven't asked Rebecca and Paul about the Atlas Mirror Room. Shall we go and search the woods in the dark? I've searched the woods loads. Thank you. Are we going to get mugged in the woods again? Nobody doing any drugs here. Nothing happening here. Obviously Midsummer Murders, don't. Except nobody's done a murder. Nope. Let's go to the dog-in spot. Here we go. Cutscene.
Just keep pushing. Just keep pushing. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. You can push it all the way in, Tom, if you want to. Excellent, Tom.
Excuse me. Would someone care to tell me exactly what's going on here?
Don't come any closer.
That man needs a doctor.
No, he doesn't.
I don't need a doctor. I'm fine. Go away.
What is this?
A test.
Of what?
What does it look like? It's a threshold test. A pain threshold test. I thought, you were supposed to be good at working things out, Inspector Jenks.
And so this would be for Atlas, would it? Kyle?
You disappear now.
It's not a good idea to talk to a police inspector like that.
Do you want me to make you?
It's okay, Tom. Mr. Jenks won't be bothering us anymore.
Don't make any rash commitments.
Oh.
Well, well. You really should take more care of your things, Ryan. Is your keys, Kyle?
No.
So that's threshold testing, is it? Sticking a skewer through your hand? I could just ask Ryan or Paul directly about this, but I think I'll bide my time. See what I can do with this key fob first.
Alright, so we get a key fob for a fancy car. But yeah, Kathy, you're about right with Jesus. I'm terrible. I'm going to hell. Got empathy pain on that one. Oh, bless you. Yeah, these lot are weirdos, aren't they? Right, should we try and see if we can find a car that the thing works on? So it's not here, I'm guessing. Where's that one car? Oh yeah, you found a moment to tune back in, Ray. That you did. So we'll have to walk to find the car, because there's one outside the pub. There's that, you know, nice number there. Nope, not here. Here is that one car. Oh, this innocuous brown piece of paper in amongst all the other bits of paper is...
Bingo. Well, Ryan, what have you been up to? Be very interesting to see how he explains this one. You just slam it. That's quite a face pushing a button on a fob. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that one that... Yep. You mean that one that looked like an Audi? Alright. Shall we do the loop? Starting at the farm. I don't think James is going to be any use. Who still uses checks? Old people. Oh, hello. Cutscene. Wow, we got something to talk to him. Found Hull Mouth and Traitor. It helps if you spell the name right. Yeah, that helps. A birdhouse? Maybe. I'm your only friend. I'm not your only friend, but I'm a little glowing friend. But really, I'm not actually a friend, but I am. Boop, 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 boop. Not worth asking about that. James wouldn't know about the money. We're not going to ask about anything else. So us... that's it for the time being, thank you.
Us viewing him take boxes, I suppose, well, maybe we could go poking around the greenhouses again. Nothing new in this one. Maybe it could have just been Amazon delivery. Maybe he's very polite and shakes the hands of his delivery drivers. If you ever get the chance to see They Might Be Giants live, do go and see They Might Be Giants live. Cool. Shoes.
So James is interested in poppy pods, is he? I think he's got some explaining to do.
That was a very, very new box of Clark's shoes. No, we shouldn't shake delivery drive stands right now. It's not a good idea. Yeah, poppy pods. But yeah, if you ever get a chance to see They Might Be Giants live, do so. They make a great show. And you'll at least recognise 2 songs, maybe more if you're a fan of They Might Be Giants. But they'll probably play Birdhouse in Your Soul and Istanbul, not Constantinople.
Ask about a few more things, please.
Poppy pods for Poppy homebrew.
What can you tell me about several boxes of dried poppy pods in the greenhouse back there?
Oh, Shifty.
Feel free to take some if you want.
What are they for, James?
Decoration? Why?
Decoration.
There's a big market for them among the over 70s.
So what are you doing with them?
Selling them to grannies.
Okay, James, let's just cut to the chase. Are you extracting opium from them?
Me? I can honestly say I've never done anything like that, Inspector.
Sure about that?
Scout's honour.
And who was the guy delivering them?
A friend. Someone gave them to him. He asked me if I wanted them. I said I'd have a look and see if I liked them.
You just thought you'd have a look? No particular reason?
I'm a plant scientist, that's what I do.
Have you ever sold them to anyone else?
I only got them a few minutes ago.
In the past. You know Kate's body had opium in the blood when it was found?
No, I didn't. Hey, that's nothing to do with me.
Let's hope not.
Okay. Right. Art there referencing possibly the greatest They Might Be a Giant song ever, Fingertips. Who's knocking on the wall? All alone, all by myself. There is a TED Talk that They Might Be Giants perform at, and because obviously a TED Talk you only get 10 minutes, they play Fingertips to get as many songs in as possible. It's great. What's that blue thing doing here? Pods used for decoration, selling to pensioners. Never extracted opium from pods. Pods from a friend who didn't want them. Talks about selling things. Does make a profit on the mirrors. I heard a sound. I turn around and find the thing that made the sound. Mysterious whisper. One day I'll find a CD copy of that that's been cut properly. Because the European CD versions of that, to the best of my knowledge, had it as one big song. And the intention was that they would all be individual tracks. So if you put your CD player on random. Or do you have the US CD with all the individual tracks, Art? That is amazing. Right, so backfill people who aren't necessarily They Might Be Giants nerds. The 5th album, Maths, 4th album, Apollo 18. Fantastic album full of cracking tunes. One of them's called Fingertips, but it's a bunch of little micro songs. It's like literally it'll just be like, I heard a sound, I turned around to find the thing that made the sound. That's all that song is. And then it just cuts immediately to another song, different style, different musicianship and stuff. And there's about like 20 odd micro songs in this one song. And the US CD should have each micro song as its own track on the CD, but the European CD didn't. They've mastered it as one track. But it's fucking hilarious. I love They Might Be Giants. Still to this day. Right. Is there anything contradictory here? We're playing a video game. I don't think there's anything said about the pods that's really contradicted anything previously said. Yeah, well, maybe stuff about the drugs. No. You're only float because your folks had on 12-inch. It was a brand new record for 1990. Nice. Compare pods and salvia clues. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at here. So, he uses it for meditation. Doesn't grow any other drugs. Well, he didn't grow these poppies either. Sold salvia to Liam. Then he gets into the cult. So none of this seems to contradict this. Like, never extract opium from the pods sounds like something that could be a key contradiction, but I don't think there's anything like, you know, in here. Like maybe that? Don't think so, no. Let's
Thank you. Probably be back later.
Let's do the rounds. Talk to everyone about everything.
Couple more questions, if that's okay.
Tell me about this weird-ass mirror room.
Can you tell me about the room with the mirrors at Atlas? The one with the combination lock.
How did you get in there?
I was given the code for the combination.
By Ryan?
Well, nobody else is allowed to know the code, are they?
And not in theory.
So how is the room used on the course, then?
It's a meditation room where the students can reflect on themselves, literally.
And what about the CD?
That helps too. It's part of the program.
So you send the students into the room, they put the CD on, they stare into the mirrors. And how long does this last for?
Until the CD finishes or they fall asleep. What else would you like to know?
Nobody's allowed to know the combination code. It's used for meditation. See the mirror used in the course. That particularly contradictory to anything that we can think of? Oh, yeah.
Now, why do you think Ryan might want to give Kate a cheque for £500?
I've really no idea. Where did you find it?
Just outside.
You better ask him.
You think Ryan was interested romantically in Kate?
I know he has a weakness for blondes, but I didn't think it had gone so far as his offering them cash.
I think she's blonde. Is she blonde? She's not blonde. Oh, Kira, amazing. Why is the morphine kept in the room? Could it be daft to keep the cocaine in there if the mirrors are upright? Feels like a script error, maybe. Yeah, maybe they got the photos for the actor for Kate much later. I, of course, cannot reflect on myself because I am a vampire. But still. Let's talk about the poppy pods.
What do you know about poppy pods?
Poppy pods?
Ever come across anyone selling them, using them?
No.
Nope. Oh, wait. You look over 70. Do you like having them as decor? See, the weakness for blondes. But he knew Kate to a degree. Is there anything else he said about Kate? No. Simon is blonde? Ooh. Yes, but the check is for Kate. Yeah, Simon's the only blonde. Doesn't know why Ryan would want to give Kate 500, but where was it? Under the auto-hypnosis. Suspected Kate of trying to play him. Nope. Kate is Simon's pimp, maybe. Bribe because she found out. Hey, Art. Have fun. Catch you later. We might. I don't know. We are close to the end. I think we should push on to the end if we can.
That's all for the moment. Thank you.
Right. Let's do the rounds. I don't think there's anything particularly contradictory there, but let's keep doing the rounds. Hello, Rebecca. Ding! The last orders yet?
A few more questions, please. Do you know anything about a locked room at Atlas with mirrors in it?
Not off the top of my head, no. I think that's a question for Ryan.
What do you know about poppy pods?
Go on.
Ever come across anyone trying to sell them or anything like that? Maybe even in here?
Not that I remember.
Be back later on, if that's okay.
Well, let's go talk to a blonde.
I'll ask you a couple more things, please. Odd question, but have you ever seen anyone handling dried poppy pods?
Poppy pods? As in, for opium? No. Though James did have opium tea once, I think.
Where did he get it from?
I don't know. I didn't ask. James does his own thing.
What does opium tea taste like?
I don't know. I didn't try it.
Really?
I didn't want to risk it, did I? I went to hospital once. I had codeine and I went into anaphylactic shock. The doctor said it was an opium derivative, apparently, so...
But...
You and Kate took morphine in the mirror room. That's what you said, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you're allergic to opiates, Simon. Opium. You didn't take the morphine at all, did you?
Well, no, I didn't. Kate did, though.
I thought you were trying to outdo each other. That was the point, wasn't it?
But we weren't trying to outdo each other as such.
Go on.
Ryan wanted me to test Kate. To see how far she would go to be prime candidate.
What candidate?
Prime candidate. It means the best person in the group, basically.
What do you mean test her?
But you do it in pairs. One person's the tester, it's me, and the other person's the...
Victim?
Well, it's not like that. It's completely consensual. It's just boundary testing. Ryan wanted me to test Kate.
Because they thought she was the best student?
Well, maybe. I don't know. I just did what I was told, okay?
Except you decided to give her morphine. To break the law.
Well, I can't change that now, can I? She didn't die of a morphine overdose, did she?
She died because she drowned. But she drowned for reasons that aren't clear. Atlas seem to have this all neatly worked out. If Simon's telling the truth, Atlas are lighting the fuse and then retiring to a safe distance, letting students test themselves and push themselves to their limits while avoiding all comeback. Is this what happened to Kate?
I love the little drawing of the crown. Supplying drugs is a crime regardless, yes. Prime candidate definitely sounds Dalek. Was he sleeping with her too? Who knows? Well, so far, all we know about Kate is that she's a flirt, not necessarily that she was sleeping around. Emma is having the affair with Ryan.
Okay, that's it
Kate
for now.
was blackmailing.
Strange question. Have you ever known of anyone selling dried poppy pods?
Poppy pods? Don't think so. Isn't that opium?
Kind of. Okay.
All right.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
Why are we not asking questions about people nailing their hands to trees? Oh, well, let's go see Ryan.
A few more questions, if you don't mind. Would you like to explain what this is, please, Ryan? £500 intended for Kate. It fell out of your car. At least I assume that's your car on the driveway at Brandon House.
I suppose so.
So why were you going to give Kate £500, Ryan?
It was just a little incentive, that's all. Just a little incentive.
Not very little, Ryan. £500.
Quite
she
an
was
incentive.
a very good student. We heard that she was leaving. We wanted to give her something.
But you didn't.
Well, obviously not.
Are you sure there wasn't any other reason you might want to give her this? Personal reason?
No!
Well, I'd like to keep hold of this for a little while, if you don't mind.
Well, don't consider it a bribe, will you, Inspector?
Money meant as an incentive for Kate. I'd heard Kate wanted to leave Atlas. No ulterior reason for giving Kate the money. But what else has been said about Kate? Kate enjoyed the course and appeared happy. No detectable problems. Yet she wanted to leave. No? Okay. Let's keep asking some questions.
Know anything about poppy pods? Come across anyone selling them or anything?
Poppy pods? Well, don't tell anyone, Inspector, but I hear that you can make opium out of those. Why do you ask?
Doesn't matter.
Ooh, blinking acting.
Now, tell me what a prime candidate is.
You're learning a lot, aren't you, Inspector? Prime
Punchy
candidates
face.
are simply the best students. The ones with the most potential.
And what benefits do they get from that?
Well, they get the top job.
Which is?
Well, we have a deal with various multinationals. We train students to be exceptional, truly exceptional. And they get a wonderful top job. It's a very simple deal.
And how do you decide who the prime candidate is? Do you test students?
No.
Did you ever, say, ask Simon to test Kate, for instance?
Oh, you've actually been speaking to Simon, haven't you? I really wouldn't trust anything that Simon Thompson says. You know, he spent the best part of 2 months trying to undermine Kate. No. Now, Simon Thompson, it really isn't my place to speculate, but if you're looking for motives, Inspector, he certainly had a few motives. More than I.
A motive to kill her, do you mean?
Now, that's very interesting, Inspector. Well, that's up to you to decide.
Hello, McGravin. How you doing? Welcome in. Welcome, McGravin. You finished before me for a change. Playing some Nautica still? Alright, we're playing a game with the worst, hammiest acting in the world. And Avon from Blake 7. Doing good? Doing pretty great? Alright, pretty great. That's a good one. Are you surviving underwater? Oh, just finished the storyline. Ooh. We are trying to find contradictions in dodgy people's statements. Students aren't tested, apparently. But if the mirror room is used by students, and students aren't tested... No, that's not contradictory, apparently. Simon had been trying to undermine Kate. So how do you rate the story of Subnautica? And if you finish the storyline, is there more to do? Is it just now like open world stuff? I'm not sure there's anything. So it's cool, but the exploration-based building's cool as well. No, nice. There's going to be something in here, right?
Thank you. Probably be back later.
Right, well, let's see. Have we done the full loop? We haven't asked Emma, Rebecca, and Paul about stuff. Alright, let's go and see them, and then maybe we'll ring the chief. Was the check for Kate or Emma? Can we ask her about it? The check was for Kate. I thought we asked Emma about it.
A few more questions,
or we don't mention
if you don't
it.
mind.
Mirror room, we don't talk about key fobs. She wouldn't know about the money. Poppy pods. Oh, we haven't asked her about Prime.
Do you know what a prime candidate is at Atlas?
Yes, it's what every student wants to be. It's the best student. Apparently you get a great high-paid job afterwards. I don't think that really happens, though.
Did you know anyone in the running to be prime candidate?
What, like Simon? I don't think they picked Simon, to be honest. Well, he's got too many morals, and you can't have both at Atlas.
You think Simon's got morals, huh? Please, morals are incompatible with Atlas. That's, I mean, probably about right. Don't think that's particularly contradictory to anything she said before. Like, not feeling guilty, morals are incompatible with that, probably.
That's all for the moment. Thank you.
I don't think there's anything you talked to Simon about. He told us about the prime candidates.
Be back later on, if that's okay.
Who haven't we talked to? We haven't talked to Rebecca and Paul, huh? Ding! Not tested aptitude, maybe? Maybe we'll...
A couple more questions, if that's okay.
Do you know what a prime candidate is?
At Atlas, it's the best student.
And what does that mean?
It means they get a guaranteed job with a very good salary. Well, that's the idea anyway.
But?
Mostly they aren't up to it.
And what happens then?
They get sacked.
Best students. Guaranteed job, good salary. Most students aren't up to it. And failed primes get sacked. Does that tie into anything else? Don't think that immediately ties in. So, yeah, maybe Kate got sacked.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
Well, let's talk to Paul.
A few more questions, please. Thank you. What are prime candidates?
The best of the bunch. The peaches.
Peach.
And so what does it mean to be a prime candidate?
I can eat a peach for an
We
hour.
have a special relationship with many major international companies. We provide them with our best students. And they get an instant job.
And what do you get out of it?
Well, it's a little kickback. It's just business, Inspector.
The best students are given a well-paid job. Atlas receives a kickback payment. Okay. Seems to be new. Right. Kira was saying about not tested and aptitude. That would be with Ryan, right?
That's it for the time being. Thank you.
So it's turned from a finishing school / cult to a multinational recruiter / cult. Call the chief for an up. I'm not going to call the chief just yet. We're going to see if we can find a contradiction here. Why do I also get a feeling that there's going to be some sort of showdown at the end in the mirror room? Hello, creepy man.
Ask you a couple more things, please.
Right. Students aren't tested. No, that is not a thing. Oh, it autosaves Kathy, don't worry. I like your thought, Kira. I like your thought. It was a good thought. Game says no.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
Alright, I suppose we ring the chief, and the chief will do a Ned. Doesn't count as cheating, apparently. It starts with 01.
Got something interesting, Jenks?
Very much so, sir. An interesting discovery in Ryan's car. A cheque for £500 from Ryan made out to Kate.
Blimey, how does he explain that?
He said it was an incentive. Apparently he'd heard she was thinking of leaving the course.
What made her so special that they were willing to pay her to stay?
Just a good student, I suppose.
Nah, doesn't add up. £500 is a lot more than an incentive, Jenks. You can buy questions in Parliament for that kind of money. Sounds pretty desperate. Keep on her, Ryan, about it. Oh, and get yourself another drink.
Another drink. Thanks, Chief.
Right.
I'm having one. Can you get Question Parliament for £500? Because if so, we should chip in together and get some questions going. Right, so he said to pressure Ryan. Let's have a think. £500 check. A little incentive for Kate. Kate wanted to leave Atlas. No ulterior reason for giving Kate the money. Best students become prime candidates. Prime candidates get a very good job. Students aren't tested. Never asked Simon to test Kate. Simon had been trying to undermine Kate. Maybe it's in Paul's replies. Doesn't know why Ryan would give her that. Well, that's what the chief said. Hassle Ryan about the £500 because it don't add up. So we need to find something.
Just a few more questions, if you don't mind.
No ulterior reason for giving Kate the money. But if she's a prime candidate, she gets a very good job and keeps the partnership. No. A little incentive for Kate, but she was going to get a really good job out of it? No. No ulterior reason for giving Kate the money, except for the very good job that she get out of it. What about these is contradictory to anything we've heard previously? Alright, what else has he said? Let's go through it all. Drunk. Met 3 months at Atlas. Enjoyed the course, being happy. Hadn't suspected emotional problems. Never seen a license before. Okay. Yeah. Motive undermine. Oh yeah, that's a good one, Kira. We'll just have a quick squid through that, but we'll keep that fresh. No. Masks, no. Doesn't know about the argument in the pub. That's got nothing to do with Kate. That's got nothing to do with Kate. No, doesn't know about drugs. Oh, I don't like drugs in the premises, except for the ones I do. No, nothing there. I don't think doll burning, no. On the shop, no, nothing but Kate there. Emma, no, and lies. It's all Lisa Blint. Something about students are not bribed. Hello, Gender Meowster. You're right, trans rights are human rights. Thank you for those little biddies. Something about not paying students to stay on at some point. Okay, cool. Hey. Look at that. Hang on. Oh, no, I'm on the wrong computer. I haven't set them up yet. We could have done a glitter attack, but there you go. How are you doing, Gender Meowster? Coming out of the dungeon. To just be full on Gender Meowster. I love it. It's great. What have you been up to? Let's give GM a shout out. Kingdom Hearts 3. Oh. Right, we are getting distracted from trying to find the contradictions. I think, well, what was it Kira was saying? Students aren't bribed. Motive undermined. Yeah. Okay. Students aren't tested. Never asked them to test. Right, so the undermining. Oh, you got a new talk show. Do we think it's something around here? No. No ulterior reason for giving Kate the money, except for what Simon's trying to undermine? No. Bribes. Okay, right. Students being bribed. Black Scrying Mirror? No. Something about Liam's death? No. Hand symbol carving? Dried leaves? No. Something about bribes there. Ah, here you go. Students aren't coerced or bribed in any way. There we go. That's what you were talking about. But yeah, you want to give her a little incentive.
So, students aren't coerced or bribed in any way, except Kate.
I'm not sure what you mean.
You said you were going to give Kate the £500 as an incentive. That's coercion, isn't it?
I really don't think you could call it coercion, Inspector. It was an incentive, that's all, a little encouragement.
So, how often do you use incentives?
Okay, incentive is probably the wrong word. The money was just to see how Kate would respond. It was part of her assessment.
Assessment?
We have to assess students as they progress. We don't use conventional methods like sitting an exam or anything like that. People pay for this course per session. We have to know if they're committed or not.
So you're assessing their progress and testing their commitment?
Yes, we are. We have to. This is a business, not a charity.
We don't have exams, we have bribes.
Ryan's claiming the money was part of Kate's assessment. And did this assessment also involve threshold testing, I wonder?
Mm-hmm.
Or was the money for something else?
So, okay. So as this new information? I see no new options, I don't think. Hold on a sec.
Thank you.
It doesn't seem to have given us any new options, does it? You should call the chief for an update. Is this it now? We just keep badgering the chief. Well, I can call the chief for an update, that's fine. Gave it to us as a test, but the students aren't tested. Yeah, but hang on, so let's just double check. Little incentive. Heard Kate want to leave Atlas. No ulterior motive. So it's not giving us anything new here. Replacing the contradictions. Just let's call the chief. We're going to get someone to crack at some point. The chief will tell us what to do. He's good.
Tell me what you know first, but this time I've got something to tell you.
Really? Well, what I found out is that Simon was asked by Ryan to test Kate to see if she was good enough to become Prime Candidate.
Prime what?
Prime Candidate. It's the best of the bunch. The best Atlas student. The Prime Candidate gets an instant job on a fantastic salary as soon as they leave the course.
And how do they work out who's the best of the bunch?
That's what I'm trying to work out.
Well, that's very interesting. I'll tell you what I know, shall I? That name they used to trade under, Third Eye. Turns out they were investigated 3 years ago over an allegation of physical abuse. Torture, Jenks. Witness had puncture marks through both her hands.
And Atlas weren't charged?
There was nothing to charge them with. The witness inflicted the wounds herself. Witness said it was something called threshold testing, whatever that means. Go figure, as they say in America.
Can I ask the Rands about this?
Well, there's no point. They won't tell you anything, and it'll just put them on the defensive. Just keep chipping away at them. Try and find out what this testing involves. That's the best thing. Get something on them, and you'll be in a better position.
Right. Thank you, Chief.
Nearly there, Jenks.
Thanks, Chief. Cool, so that gives us more? No. Doesn't actually give us anything to talk to them about. This is probably going to say there must be a contradiction somewhere. Alright. Contradiction, maybe around the threshold testing, right? Yeah? Students aren't tested. Where do they talk about threshold testing? Atlas do use some disturbing techniques. Get something on them. Yeah, we need to find the contradiction, right? And it's about that testing. We need to get more. We need to get the threshold test, which, if we know that the prime candidates aren't tested, we've already brought that up before, I know, but yeah, we need to think about. That's not a test. Atlas do use some disturbing techniques. I don't know, maybe it's that. Just keep the pressure on Ryan because he's slimy.
Ask about a few more things, please.
Right. Students aren't tested. Disturbing techniques? No. Students aren't tested. Where have we talked with Ryan about threshold testing before? In the auto-hypnosis? Gave Kate the money to test Assassin.
Aha.
Here we go.
Well, which one is it, Ryan? Do you test students or not?
Well, some of them, yes.
Including Kate?
Yes.
Why was she being tested?
She was being tested because...
Whisper the line.
Because we wanted to see if she was good enough to become prime candidate, okay?
So Kate was in the running to be prime candidate?
Yes.
And did you ask Simon to test her?
Yes, I did. But I didn't ask him to do anything stupid. He knew it was against course rules.
How far did you ask him to push her?
I didn't ask him to push her. I asked him to test her. There's a huge difference. If Simon decided to give her too much caffeine or morphine or whatever, that's his responsibility. So if he did anything wrong, it was his own responsibility. He did it with his own mind and his own hand. We had nothing to do with it.
Oh, here we go. It's midnight.
Midnight, and still no suspect, unless you count everyone I've interviewed. It's no surprise that Ryan wants to avoid any suggestion of being responsible for Kate's death, but I wonder if the man protests just a little too much.
Yeah, we should go back to see him. Wow, we got to midnight. What do we want to do? Do we want to push on? I'm happy to push on. Like, we're meant to solve this tonight. So, presumably, this is the final act. Cool. Alright, we can do this. Right, Tip reckons. Wonder what Paul thinks about prime candidates. And they're things we haven't asked lots of other people about yet. Yeah, let's go see Paul. The music's getting louder, I swear.
Questions, if that's okay? Was Kate a prime candidate?
Well, as Ryan has probably already told you, yes, she was.
Did you ask Simon to test her?
Yes, it's company policy. Leaders don't get involved.
And it covers your back, of course.
Well, nobody knows the students better than they do, Inspector. It's much better to let them just work it out among themselves.
It isn't very professional to force students to test each other to the point where one of them gets killed, Paul.
We don't force students to do anything that they don't want to do, Inspector.
So you don't force them into being tested?
No, we don't encourage anybody to hurt or offend anybody else here.
You don't use threshold testing, for instance?
No. If Simon Thompson went too far with Kate, that's his responsibility, not ours. He's the one you should be speaking to, if truth be told. I don't trust him myself.
Making a racket with my bag. Don't mind, these co-fresh things are great though. We're just gonna have a very quick Orky. Hi, baby. Oh, look at him. Look at him. Oh. Unimpressed but adorable. Oh, kissies. Right. Sleepy boy. Anyway, right, back to the contradictions. We're going to find the murderer, maybe, or what's going on, because this has got weird. Kate was being tested, prime candidate. Leaders don't get involved in testing students. Don't use threshold testing. Not encourage each other. Is there anything here? Don't immediately think. I can't think of anything. Has he talked about threshold testing before? Right, from the top. I mean, if he only met her a few times... Why has she been tested for prime candidate, except for the fact that he doesn't have much to do with the business, the actual practicalities of her? Not Simon's bike. Never had the homebrew. Mask. Not interested in scrying. No, nothing there. Ideas of morality and look. Did he say we'll read the mirror room? No, use some meditation he's got. I don't think. Hang on, let's go. Where were we? Freedom phrase. Not drugs. Not doll burning. Nothing about testing there. That's a stunt, not a test. Play the music. Read the mirror room. We'll come back down to it in a sec. No. I mean, here's talk about a test, but not threshold testing. There's a mention of threshold. See, meditation. Oh, what else we got? CD's part of the course. Course meditation, no tests mentioned there. So I'm not sure what we got. See, he's much more guarded.
Be back later on, if that's okay.
Wonder what Paul I wonder what Paul thinks about prime candidates. I thought we asked him about prime candidates.
Questions, please.
Okay. So they're giving us a clue. Hera must be on stimulant to be awake at this hour. So they played the music till they passed out or something. Okay, hang on. Let's
Can you tell me about the room with the mirrors at Atlas? The one with the combination lock?
How did you get in there?
I was given the code for the combination.
By Ryan?
Well, nobody else is allowed to know the code, are they?
And not in theory.
So how's the room used on the course, then?
It's a meditation room where the students can reflect on themselves, literally.
And what about the CD?
That helps too. It's part of the program.
So you send the students into the room, they put the CD on, they stare into the mirrors. And how long does this last for?
Until the CD finishes or they fall asleep. What else would you like to know?
Until they fall asleep. Not really it. No, it's about prime candidates are the best students. They're given a well-paid job. Atlas receives a kickback payment. Kate was being tested with prime candidate. Leaders don't get involved in testing students. They don't use threshold testing. Students are not encouraged to hurt each other. See, the hint is saying, what does he think about prime candidates? We found out some stuff, therefore there must be a contradiction in there. Blake's involved, yeah. I.e. with Emma. But, you know, they don't get involved in testing students. And the thing with Emma, which I think is under Emma's guilt, you know, he once tried to... I don't think that's it. No.
Okay, that's it for now. Thank you.
Maybe we'll come back to that, because we haven't talked to Simon, Emma and Rebecca about stuff. So maybe we should. It's gone midnight. Let's rap on someone's window.
I'll ask you a couple more things, please. Do you know whether Kate was in the running to be prime candidate or not?
I don't, but I do think she would have been chosen just because she was, you know, Kate.
You didn't discuss it with Kate?
No. No, she never talked about Atlas.
Didn't know. Thinks Kate would have been chosen. Kate didn't discuss the Atlas course. Yeah, they didn't see
Thank
each other
you.
more. Let's-
Probably be back later. How do you think you'd have reacted if you'd found out that Kate had been chosen to be prime candidate?
Is that... was she?
I'm just asking how you think you'd react.
I don't know. I wouldn't react in any way, really. I'm not bothered. I don't think she was, though.
What makes you think that?
Well, it's just an impression I got. You know, she's a bit flaky, to be honest. She's just not really prime candidate material.
So he doesn't think Kate could be prime candidate. But if we've been asked to test Kate by Ryan, no. So it's prime candidate stuff. She's once or twice a month. He visited a few months ago. Only Kate took the morphine. Ryan had asked him to test Kate for prime candidate. Then he told us about prime candidates. But he didn't think Kate could be prime candidate. Don't think there's anything particularly... No. Anything else with Kate? The auto-hypnosis? Which she told us with the doll burning ceremony. Paul theft. Emma's guilt. No, we can't talk to him about that. Not sure. Yeah.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
Wonder what Paul thinks about prime candidates. We haven't asked Rebecca about it. Right, okay. Maybe Rebecca will give us something new. Ding! It's gone midnight and your pub's still open. We need to talk about your license.
If you don't mind. Did you know Kate Vine was a prime candidate?
No.
Wow, that's boring, huh?
That's all for the moment. Thank you.
So Paul or the Chief? Well, I suppose we better talk to Paul about something. Right, let's have a think. Kate's prime status. Paul's replies. She was being tested for prime candidate. Leaders don't get involved in testing students. Don't use threshold testing. Students not encouraged to hit you, so leaders don't get involved. There's something in here. What is it? What is it? It's something about prime candidates, right? Paul's replies. They're the best students. They're given a well-paid job. Atlas receives a kickback payment. So if they're the best students, what does he think about Kate as a student? She was drunk. Still think the mirror room CD's threshold testing. So many things, I'm losing track. The Atlas mirror room. Nobody's allowed to know the combination code. Mirror room used for meditation. CD is used in the course. Right, well, let's go in.
A few more questions, if you don't mind.
Pronouns. Yes, if you're not already using the Alejo.io pronoun plugin, please consider it. It's great. Get to learn more about each other. Isn't that wonderful? Right. The CD player in the room is part of the course. Don't need threshold testing. Let's go straight for that one. Ah.
You say you don't endorse threshold testing, that's the phrase, isn't it?
Yes.
Except you do, Paul, because you told me that the students use that CD in the mirror room. I've listened to that CD, and it very clearly mentions threshold testing. You keep batting this away, Paul. We don't really use hypnosis. The students aren't really tested, but I am this close to launching a full-scale investigation.
Look, we get a kickback from these students, and they have to be exceptional. Of course we have to test them. That doesn't mean we do anything illegal. What do you think we do? Bump off the ones we don't like?
Well, that depends on how far you push them, doesn't it?
Well, we certainly don't kill them. Nobody here wanted Kate dead.
I'm sure they didn't. But what do you expect, Paul, when you put students under that much pressure?
She was a very, very valuable student. She was worth a lot to the business.
Really? And how much would that be?
Well, if you really want to know, 50 grand.
Ooh.
She was worth 50 grand?
Yes.
What, you were selling her?
Of course we were selling her. You don't get this, do you? We make perfect employees. Month after month. That's all we do.
What do you mean, perfect employees?
What big business needs, Inspector, more than anything else, is none of this altruistic, goody-goody crap. What we look for is people with ambition. No ethics. Push. Greed is good. All right? We don't deal with all this comfort stuff. The survival of the fittest. That's all there is. There's no higher purpose, no big plan. There's nothing at the end of the rainbow, except what you have and you can enjoy in the here and now.
And what do you enjoy now, Paul?
You're gonna have to excuse me, Inspector. I'm a very busy man. I've got work to do.
It's gone midnight.
I'll see myself out. Lovely man, your father.
Shut the gate on your way out.
Oh, little bit of earwigging. Little bit of earwigging.
He's doing his level best to shut this place down. Get rid of him.
He's a policeman. We can't just...
You sort this, Ryan. You man up and you sort it. Tonight.
Yeah, Ryan. What's that? The art book? Just reading his bookshelves. Oh, he's found another mantelpiece. Kyle, eh? Kyle. Have we got new stuff to talk about now?
That doesn't sound good. Two totally morally bankrupt men are plotting to get rid of me. It's midnight. I don't have any backup and I don't even have a mobile phone. This is potentially quite bad. What's Kyle got to do with it? I think I might make my way over to Atlas while Ryan isn't there. Maybe lock myself in.
Yeah, lock myself in the mirror room. Time for a final trip to the woods. Alrighty then. We're going to go through the woods, see if we can bump into Kyle. And yes, Paul Darrow is the biggest name actor in here. Note he's the one who just uses his voice, not his whole body. Send Big Man to finish Bagman's job. Hello, dogging spot.
voi, Casanare, Ontare, Panama, Givore. Prove to me that you're man enough to do this, Kyle, and then you can deal with that ridiculous police inspector. Casanare, Ontare, Panama, Givore.
What is this? What the hell? Scotland Yard, not hell. Hello, Ryan.
Hello, Inspector. What are you doing here?
Inspecting. So, come on. Let's have it.
I don't think you'd understand, Inspector. The best thing that you can do is turn around, go away, and leave us to it.
Knife.
What?
That knife gives me a perfect right to stick my nose in, investigate, and interfere.
Oh.
This is all part of the Atlas course. It's a physical endurance exercise.
Drop the knife. The knife, Kyle!
Kyle.
Drop it!
Drop it.
Not looking 100% brilliant for you, Ryan.
Well, please, Inspector, you've poked your nose into Atlas's affairs enough times to know that imaginative flair is part of the course's success. Our lessons are reinforced by a unique emotional experience.
Terror?
It's an extremely evocative tool.
Well, it's a good job you're not in charge of the national curriculum.
Now look, Inspector, I know what you're trying to do. I know what you're thinking. But believe me, Atlas had nothing to do with the deaths of those people.
Oh, it did.
Eyewitness account of a satanic sacrifice in the woods. That's not what we call circumstantial evidence, Ryan.
Simon. Now, I saw Simon walking home with Kate last Friday after the meeting. Now, Simon had some strange idea that he was in the running to become prime candidate. Well, a knob of butter has more chance of becoming prime minister. Oh, wait.
So are you telling me...
Simon killed her. Well, it seems reasonable. It's likely, isn't it?
Any more likely than you, Ryan?
Oh, he's just...
I know. Police brutality.
They predict this was made in the Cameron years, so yeah, it wasn't too hard to predict Bojo. Was that one of the actors we've already seen? And it's just like, don't take the...
Save someone from being sacrificed, and that's the thanks you get. If that wasn't an occult ceremony, I don't know what is. The Rands have been lying all along.
Oh, they've been lying
What's
along.
Simon going to say about Ryan's accusation?
Time to talk Simon. Yeah, sounds like it, huh? Wonder what Simon makes from it. Ah, we need to talk Simon, Emma and James about things. Let's talk to Emma first. So I like knocking on the window of young women at gone midnight.
Did Simon mention walking home with anyone after the meeting last Friday?
No, he just came home. Why?
He didn't mention walking home with Kate.
No, definitely not.
Be back later on, if that's okay.
J'accuse Simon.
What would you say if I said it's been suggested that you were seen walking home with Kate after Atlas last Friday?
What? By who?
The same person who suggested that you wanted Kate out of the picture because you found out she was in the running to be prime candidate.
What? Who said that?
Just a question.
I didn't think I was in the running. It was Ryan, wasn't it?
I am in no position to say.
It was Ryan.
Simon, calm down.
No, I can prove it. Kate's driving license, give it to me.
Why?
Kate's driving license, please.
You don't get to be bossy to the copper.
See that pattern on the tape there? Let me show you something. See this pattern? Now look at that. It's the same pattern. This has come from the same roll of tape as this.
So?
So there's only one person has tape like that. Ryan. He gave me this piece of tape when I was in his office once. Why has Kate's driving license got a piece of Ryan's tape on it?
I have no idea, Simon.
Where did you find it?
Oh, by the lake.
Well, it's obvious, isn't it? Ryan was testing her. He was doing a boundary test to see how much she would do, how far she would go to be a prime candidate. But it all went wrong. Okay. It's one of the things we do at the course, right? You give something that's important to you to someone else. Then they go and hide it somewhere. It's to teach you to not be bothered when you lose something that's important to you, all right? Kate gives her driving license to Ryan. Ryan goes and hides it somewhere down the lake. Kate finds out, she goes down looking for it, probably drunk, and she falls in.
I'm afraid I find that a bit far-fetched, Simon.
It makes perfect sense if you know anything at all about how Atlas works.
But Simon, if you got the tape from Ryan, Kate could have got it from him.
He told me he doesn't lend it out.
He lent it to you.
But I didn't kill her! Do a lab test on the card. His DNA will be all over it.
And what if yours is all over it?
It won't be. I didn't kill her. I'm sorry. Just give me a minute. I need some painkillers.
Special tape. Here you go, Simon. You've been a good boy today. You can have some special tape. The tape that was used to tape up the pub as well. He's done a runner. Where did he go? Yeah, everyone's DNA will be all over it the way forensics being handled
Why did he
around
go in
here.
such a hurry? Is he trying to act as suspiciously as possible?
Pattern sticky tape. Alright, let's poke around the woods. But I've got a feeling it's going to be a showdown in the mirror room. No, not that way. Back into the woods. Oh, nobody's at the jetty. The hold on a minute face. Is he in the dogging spots? Nope, nobody's in the dogging spots.
Damn. I suppose it was too much to hope that Ryan had left the place open.
Alright, he's not in the woods. Is he in the village hall? No, of course he's not in the village hall. It's gone midnight and here I am in your pub, which is still open. Ding!
A few more questions, please. Thank you. Have you seen patterned tape like this anywhere before?
Oh, Ryan's got some. I know because I borrowed it.
When was that?
A couple of months ago?
Have you still got it?
I don't think so. I haven't seen it since then.
It's Ryan's special tape. Ryan's got special tape.
Probably be back later.
No. Pub's still open and really busy. Would a village pub extend its licensing out to midnight or 1 a.m? She borrowed Ryan's tapes a couple months ago and asked if she still got it. Well, she might. How often do you use tape? But he's very particular about his stationery. Right, well, we can't go back in there anymore, can we? Round the back. Nothing new. We need to talk to James. He's the only person we haven't talked to for a while. How often do you borrow something months on end? Quite often.
Ask you a couple more things, please. Do you know how well Simon knew Kate?
Not really.
Did you ever see them together?
No, why? Do you think he killed her?
I've no idea. Do you think he'd be capable of that?
Do you think we're all capable of it?
No, I don't.
Sure. So you'd never been in your police car responding to an incident, driven past a school at high speed?
Dunno. Maybe.
Well, you've answered your own question then. When you've got a need and things get in your way, it's human nature to either ignore them or get rid of them. Any way you can. That's all murder is, isn't it?
Maybe you're right.
I'm not inviting this person to any of my parties. Tape.
Ever seen tape like this anywhere before?
No.
Nah.
That's it for the time being, thank you.
Alright, fine. This guy, yeah, he's an odd fucker. It's probably the drugs. Call Chief for an update. There's 3 things we haven't asked Emma. What haven't we asked Emma about? Wait. Why did he study botany instead of law?
Just a few more questions, if you don't mind.
Ah.
Have you seen this anywhere before?
I've seen it somewhere, but can't remember. Sorry, no.
So what else haven't we asked her about? Thought we would ask her about everything. Yeah, she told us her guilt. Right,
Thank you. Probably be back later.
Right, so we should call the chief for an update. We will then. So I'm not sure what's particularly contradictory at the moment, but maybe we've got enough.
Just as it gets to the good bit, great. Go on, Jenks.
So,
TiVo.
to start, Paul admitted that they do use threshold testing. Apparently they get a wedge of cash from various companies in exchange for each prime candidate they produce.
Interesting.
Also, I met Ryan and some of his friends in the woods in the middle of some sort of occult ceremony. I have no idea what they were doing, but it did not look good. But Ryan insisted that Simon walked Kate home after the meeting last Friday. He's claiming Simon killed her.
And what does Simon say?
He doesn't agree, not surprisingly. He says it was Ryan.
Is that a joke?
Because there's something to do with a piece of tape stuck to Kate's driving license, which Simon claims belonged to Ryan. Claims it was Ryan who was testing Kate by sticking the driving license to a tree in the woods in the dark and telling Kate to get it, knowing she'd fall in. And no, before you ask, it doesn't make any sense to me either.
Right, so basically Simon says Ryan was testing her and Ryan says Simon was testing her. Well, either one of them is lying or neither of them are. And nobody was testing anybody.
I suppose that's always a possibility.
Wouldn't surprise me, Jenks. Well, I don't know. I can't help you. But you're as close as you're going to get. Just check everything that everyone's said. Go through everyone's statements. The answer's in there somewhere. Call me back when there's some good news, eh? Preferably a confession.
Well, if I can get one.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chief.
Good night.
That's it. The chief's no more help. It's like, go find a contradiction. Go find a contradiction. Alright. Sticky tape. Emma recognised it. James doesn't recognise it. Last saw the tape approximately 2 months ago. Last saw the tape 2 months ago, but... taped over the broken window. Is there a TLDR from the big wall of text? The TLDR is that we've just got to find a contradiction. Chief's going to be not much further help. And I'm wondering if the Simon Says stuff was a joke. But we've got a contradiction for Rebecca. She used the tape to fix the window. She does know where the tape is. It seems inconsequential, but it's there.
A few more things, please.
Taped over the broken window to make it safer. I last saw the tape 2 months ago. Yeah.
You last saw that sticky tape 2 months ago, is that correct?
Yes.
So how come you used it last week to tape over the broken window outside? That's the same tape.
Well, I must have been mistaken.
You see, the reason I'm asking is that it's exactly the same tape that was found attached to Kate's driving license, found at the scene. The tape that only Ryan has. Ryan, and of course, you.
So what are you saying?
Who's got the tape now? Do you know where it is?
No. No, I don't know where it is. Why are you asking me about this tape?
You seem nervous, Rebecca. Is there a problem?
Well, you're practically accusing me of having something to do with that woman's murder, aren't you?
I wasn't accusing you of anything, Rebecca. Unless there's something you'd like to tell me.
No, I wouldn't like to tell you anything.
Okay, well, that's fine. Obviously, we'll be swabbing everyone in the area for DNA, so if anything comes up on Kate's license, DNA traces.
What will come up? Nothing will come up. Right, I've had enough. I've got to get back.
Rebecca! Would you like to explain to me exactly what is going on?
Come on,
The
Rebecca.
fact that some leggy bitch was trying to steal my husband.
Woohoo!
I think you had better tell me what you know, Rebecca.
Okay, you want to know what I know? Kate Vine seduced my husband and was going to blackmail him. Not only did she sleep with him, that whore did it just for his money, our money.
How did you work that out?
I heard her. I knew it was her arguing with Emma Bowman. Emma was trying to talk her out of it.
And how did she come to be at the lake?
She dropped that driving license thing when she came in. She was drunk. She dropped her bag. I took it out to the woods and stuck it over the lake. Then I waited for her. When she came out, I told her where it was, that someone had just run off into the woods with it.
You led her to a lake.
She was reaching out over the lake to get it. I didn't do anything. She just fell in.
But you let her drown.
It was dark. I couldn't see anything. I couldn't help her.
Really? Did you try, Rebecca?
Well, it was too late. She was just flapping about in the water. It was pathetic. She was making these gurgling sounds.
And what did you do?
Pathetic.
I got a big stick. I just pushed her down with it until she stopped.
Wow.
Well, she was dead anyway. What did it matter?
You killed her, Rebecca.
She slept with my husband.
She didn't, Rebecca.
What do you mean?
You got the wrong girl.
Who? Emma. It was Emma.
Rebecca Rand, I am arresting you for the murder of Kate Vine.
So sus.
You do not have to say anything, but anything you do say may be taken down and will be used in evidence against you. Do you understand?
Yes.
So, it appears that Kate Vine's death was a tragic case of mistaken identity. But there are some loose threads here. What was Ryan doing with Kyle and that girl in the woods? What if I hadn't interrupted? And what really happened to Liam last year? It seems I've only scratched the surface of Atlas and the Rand business empire. Trying to find out about Paul Rand's past is like peering into dense fog. He gives nothing away and covers his tracks with military efficiency. However, what is known is that Paul Rand has a lot of connections in high places. Politicians, celebrities, business leaders.
Twitter.
Perhaps James Wilson's ideas weren't too wide of the mark after all. I get the feeling there's still a lot more to learn about the Rand business empire.
You're going to have to excuse us. Atlas is closed for the moment, but we'll be open again very soon. Thank you for your interest.
Sequel. I think, is that it? We're done? There we go. Tim Follin. I wonder what notes you were passing to Rupert Booth. Wow. So there we go, folks. Oh, Sally Rowe was Girl in Woods. We did it. We solved Contradiction. I was not expecting that ending. I was expecting it to be like Ryan. All staff of the mansion house. There we can go visit. Let's get a Great Budworth in Cheshire and St. Helens. Let's go find the Congratulations. There is no sequel because nobody wanted to pay for the sequel on Kickstarter. Well, there we go, folks. We've solved Contradiction. Did we get New Game Plus? Or just some credits? Baggy cat, baggy cat. Game complete, no cheats used. Game complete with no cheats. Dedicated to Paul Darrow, bless him. This was an experimental independent game made in a tiny budget. Yes. If you liked it, please review the game, make yourself heard. Well, I mean, it was a wild ride, right? That was a wild ride. Progress 96%. Oh, what? Were the bits we missed? Yeah, I wish the ending had been more satisfying, which is why I'm wondering if the progress is 96%. Did we actually miss anything, and we could have got a little bit more about Paul and Ryan, and maybe we'd got a slightly different ending there. Yeah, we must have missed a contradiction somewhere on there. But that was kind of fun. I mean, yeah, you're right. The ending was a bit unsatisfying. It was the tape all along, which was the first fucking thing we saw. Like one of the earliest things. Oh, that tape's the same, isn't it? So yeah, but the twists and the turns. It's like, are they a sex cult? Aren't they? Yeah, not so much the tape as the murder and motive. That took us left wing. Whoa, where are you going there? Amazing. Right, let's go back to the big screen. And we can exit the game. But yeah, thank you so much, folks. Yeah, I thought it was close notes or Ryan. Yeah, honestly, I'd have gone Ryan myself. I was honestly thinking that it was him and the weird sex cult thing. We didn't miss anything near the end. All right, cool. Thank you, Ray. The Sierra Ray hotline. Let's before we decide who to raid on to, let's just get a little bit more cat cam in here. Hi. Oh, you flipped around. You flipped around. Hi. This is a baby. Yes. Oh. Tickly beans. Tickly beans. Oh, look at him. Look at him. Oh, big yo. Bless that little bar. Reckon there's a Ryan's showdown somewhere, probably in the dogging area. Could be. Right then, who is about and online that we can do a raid for? Also, that means next Friday is going to be another new game, and I think it is time for Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis. I've been putting it off for a little bit. I've been like, no, we've done quite a few retro LucasArts ones. but I think we need to come back to them. And I think, Indiana Jones next week. And the Fate of Atlantis. But first, let's see who's a boots. Mux Plumby? Yeah, Mux Plumby, they're cool. I am now going to furiously IMDb all of these actors as well and find out like what episodes of Doctors they've been on to. Mux Plumby. Spelled it, yeah, Plumby. Yeah, spelled it right. Cool. Good night, Kathy. Look after yourself. Hey, Sunday Fun Day tomorrow. Let us know if you want to shout out in Discord. If you want to play with us, Kathy. I'll put the usual messages out now. See who we can get in there. But otherwise, thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out with me. It's been lovely. You've been lovely. Great help. We solved the mystery. And that's the important thing. And yeah, we'll do some Sunday Fun Day tomorrow, some board games, maybe some Munchkin, I don't know, maybe some more TF Mars. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, like I say, we'll shout out in the Discord and see what's happening. You need to finish off a report tomorrow, so you'll lurk again. Always a pleasure, Jess. Always a pleasure. In the meantime, yeah, we'll come back tomorrow. Thank you, Ray, for remembering to do the raid messages. Because I'm rubbish and forgot. Alright, let's go see Mux Plumby, and I will see you all tomorrow for Sunday Fun Day. Thank you very much for hanging out. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.